You are not you. You're me. No shit.
I tailed it out of there.
Are you crazy? Don't go between them! Go between them! Are you crazy?
Welcome to my home.
Good morning. Another glorious Saturday morning. Let me know if you can hear me on the mic because I did move it out of the way and it might be too far. But we got a lot of stuff to talk about. I'm excited. Let's see what's going on with this. All right, we can see there. All right, so we have a lot of stuff to talk about today. We have first time on 4Ks, new Blu-rays coming out, things I'm stoked for. So that's why we're here. That's the main focus. We're going to talk about all that. We're going to get into it. We're getting a brand new restoration for the Ace Ventura sequel. So I'm excited about that. And before I dive in, I forgot last week. So we have two new channel members, and we're going to welcome them as we welcome all the new channel members. We have Grant Bixman 9159, welcome, and Violin Player 101, welcome. So we're going to welcome you aboard like we do every new channel member. And let's get there real quick. And speaking of new channel members, tomorrow night, 8 p.m. my time, Eastern Mountain Time, I guess is what it is. We're doing a member only live. So YouTube member only live. I should have did it last Sunday. I didn't even think about it. So usually the first Sunday of every month, we do a member only live stream. And then the second Sunday, we do the fourth wall member. So we're just shifting it to the right a little bit. So tomorrow we're doing that YouTube member only live. And then next week will be the Zoom call and for the fourth wall members, and we are doing giveaway next week. Now, so far, all the other giveaway stuff has been done. I still have to mail out the winner for the Blu-ray that we gave away a couple weeks ago. So I'm going to the post office today. I got to pick some stuff up out of the P.O. box. I got a message that something's there. I think I know what it is, but I got to do that. And while I'm there, I'm gonna mail out that package. And then I think I got to go back to the post office next week because I'll be mailing out pen pal mail. So I have a friend in Australia. He's going to send me some things. I'm going to send him some things. So I'm going to do that. And while I can't offer that to everybody because it gets a little crazy, but I recommend, as building this community, I do recommend finding a friend in the community where you can do that instead of donating your movies. If you curate collection, and I understand if you hate the movie, like it really is a different thing, but you know, like the thing is, like, I have friends on the internet and some of them we agree on movies, sometimes we don't, but there's always that discovery and finding new things. And so my friend in Australia, we vibe on a lot of older movies, and there's a whole bunch of stuff that he's just into. So he put it in the box, he's sending it to me, and I do the same thing. There's movies that I know that he's never even seen, and I'm just like, you got to watch this. And so we're doing that. I think it's fun. So I do recommend, you know, in this community, like finding somebody like that. I understand it's not super easy. You just got to put yourself out there. It is one of those things, but then it is like a trust factor. There's that too. So like finding internet friends is also a different thing, but it is something that I've enjoyed. And so we got that. And so that's everything that we're going to talk about today. But good morning, chat. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here as always. Before we dive in, I want to show off what we're going to be talking about today. So I have, well, that is part of what we're going to talk about today, but this is the one thing that I've been you know, last month was kind of rough with a lot of the stuff coming in. It was for review, and I spent a lot of time, pouring over all that stuff. And so less time diving into this stuff. So Blue Corner, I know you gave me some homework, and I got to watch some Asian cinema, and that's on it's on the plan. Like I gotta do that. So I have that. But these came in, and I'm super excited. So these are pretty much weekend watches for me. So I have The Forbidden City. It was a Blue Corner recommendation, so that'll come up. Oh, and last month I missed out, and it was because I was waiting on stuff, but it's the You Picked It series. So this will be part of the You Picked It because Blue Corner said I had to watch it. So we're going to have that. We're going to bring that back and doing it very soon, probably this week. I'm going to try and knock that out because a lot of the stuff that I was waiting for has finally come in to be able to watch it. But then I did pick this up, which I'm super stoked for. And it's one that I do hope comes to Blu-ray at some point, but this Warner Brothers title, Kid and Play, I think is fantastic. I have not seen it since I was a teenager, in the early 90s. But yeah, this is something I'm looking forward to watching. So this is an easy weekend watch for me. I picked that up on DVD. And then this was an upgrade. David Carradine, The Warrior and the Sorceress. So this was an out-of-print Blu-ray. It was not a crazy one. This was hitting like about $50 I saw it for on eBay. But it got a re-release, and so much cheaper. It just came out, I think, this week because it just came in. And so this movie, I think, is, if you like sword and sorcery, I think it's fantastic. I also do think the movie poster is a million times cooler than the film. But I think they're both fun. So it was like, that was a nice upgrade for me because I only had the DVD. First time watch, never seen it before, but it's the schlocky stuff. And I've been diving into a lot of dramas and a lot of heavier films lately. Even last night was a heavier film, but it was a good one. It was a really good one. But Demon of Paradise. So I picked this up. This was another out of print Blu-ray that got a re-release. This is a Scream Factory thing. And so this just came out again. And so I was glad to get it. And then that is it. Those are all the things that I'm like 100% watching this weekend for a fact. And this is the one thing we're going to talk about. And there is something else we're going to talk about today that is being announced, but I went to take it off the shelf and it's not there. It's a movie I've been talking about for years. I love it. I had it, and somehow it didn't make it in the move. So that's 3 or 4 titles now that I know for a fact I used to own and I can't find on my shelves. And I double checked because when we moved here, I deleted my phone app and I restarted everything. So everything is freshly scanned that got taken out of boxes and put on shelves, and I don't have the movie. So we're going to talk about all that stuff. But good morning, everybody. Honestly, I'm stoked for everybody. What you have planned for the weekend, what you're watching. Let me know about that. But as always, utilize the community tab on YouTube and just post your stuff. Like, even if you don't want to post a picture of what you're watching, just type it out. Hey, I'm watching this. And because it's part of community building. Like, we all have different tastes. We all have different things, but I'm excited. Let's see. We got, good morning, Gabriel Perez. Sup? What's up, brother? Let's see. And Scott says, hello from Central Ohio, 63 degrees here. Well, I don't know what it is here, but we've had some crazy weather here in Colorado. So what was it? Thursday, I think. It was either Wednesday or Thursday. It snowed. Like, we got a blizzard. It started the night before and it went into the day, and it was like a lot of snow. And then the very next day, it was all melted. It was gone. And then yesterday, it was like a nice spring day, as if it had never snowed ever. And it's the weather here is so ridiculous. And I expected to have like crazy blizzards and lots of snow and just to be horrible winters here. And since I've lived here, it snows and it's all melted the next day. And it's hot and warm and weird, and I don't get it. But yeah, in May, Cinco de Mayo, we had snow. Let's see. And Rafi, hello. Hey, brother. Good morning. Good morning, all. And help us, heroes. I'm here and ready to mingle. Nice. I'm glad you're here. And Mark. Hi, all. Hi, Mark. Yeah, Mark knows about the weather. He knows about the snow. Yeah. All right. Sounds good. Great. I've been talking for a long time, but it kind of wouldn't matter if I sounded good or not by now. But I appreciate you letting me know. I just didn't check. And Darren G. Good morning, brother. Good morning. What do we have? Let's see. Rivera 903. Hola. Well, hello to you too. Good morning. Help us here. See, I just watched Godzilla -1 this morning again, ready for -0. Yeah, I'm super stoked about that. Now, here's an interesting thing because I like Godzilla -1. Now, I watched that and I watched both versions. I watched the black and white version, which I loved. I only owned the regular colorized 4K version. But one thing that I did was I watched it twice. I read it, I enjoyed it, but then my daughter wanted to watch it, and at the time, like she can read, like that's not a problem, but it's the keeping up with subtitles. Sometimes it's difficult, and so instead of me trying to just fill in the blanks or help her out or read it, we turned the subtitles off and we watched it, and we both enjoyed it. And like even though you could hear the voices and hear the music and hear the gunfire, it really felt like you're watching a silent film because not being able to understand it, but you're able to follow the movie. It was an interesting way to watch it. I understand probably nobody's going to do that, but I did it only because I really didn't want to spend the time like having to wait for her to struggle to fight to get caught up and then read it for her. And it was just better that way. And I thought it was fantastic. I really did. Now, not every foreign film you're going to be able to do that with, but I think Godzilla, it worked out well enough. But yeah, I'm excited for -0 as well. And Cowabunga Dude, what's up? What's up, brother? And what do we got? Jesse James with the good morning, everyone, and happy Saturday. I think it's 2 Saturdays in a row, Jesse James. Let me get you there with the everyone. Appreciate the enthusiasm this morning.
Bring me everyone. What do you mean, everyone?
Nice. Yeah, it's a great way to start off the morning. Let's see. Are you getting the Synapse Films new 4K release? Which ones? Let's of what? Anything I just showed off today? Let's dive into it. I don't know. Let's see. I didn't say you had watched it. You found yourself and wanted a reminder. Oh, there we go. Okay, Blue Corner says, I didn't say. I feel no matter what, Blue Corner, if you DM me about some kind of movie, I really just feel it's you yelling from Denmark in the most polite possible way. Yelling from Denmark that I have to watch this movie or else. And I always feel that way. So I understand the conversation that happened, but in my head, you sent me a DM saying, buy this movie now. And I did. So that's how that transpired. And that's how I'm going to continue to tell the story. You can tell it your way. There's 2 sides to every story, Blue Quarter, for sure. But yeah, that's what really happened. What really happened was I was excited for the release, and I told him to remind me because out of anybody, he's like on top of the Asian cinema stuff. And yeah, it just made more sense that way. But I'm going to tell everybody that you made me buy it. Oh, here we go. Never seen it myself. Oh, it's telling me I got to get it. Of course. I'm looking forward to it. Now, this is an interesting one. So as we dive into Forbidden City, so I haven't watched it, but this is in Italian and let's see. What else? Yeah, Italian and Mandarin. So I don't know how that's working. I don't know because it seems like it takes place in somewhere in China, but then it seems like maybe there's some Italian mafia criminal elements there, and they are speaking Italian. Like I don't know. I haven't watched it yet, but there's something about this film that just it's so intriguing, no matter what. And like I just watched Wasabi not too long ago, and that was a similar thing. It was just like a French film in China or something, and then it or Hong Kong, I don't remember exactly where it was, and then it had an English subtitle. So this is a very similar take on that, but it's Italian and Mandarin. So I'm intrigued for sure. But it looks great. It looks like I wouldn't say girl boss because those types of movies they're out there, and I'm not a big fan of those. But this one seems like obviously it seems like she's the she's gonna fight. She's gonna fight and she's gonna win, and it seems like that. But it doesn't seem like it's like she has instantly everything. It seems like maybe she earned it, but I don't know. I gotta dive into that one for sure. But anyway, we're diving into the rest of this chat. Good morning, everybody, and Arthur. Good morning, folks. Good morning, brother. Hope you're doing well this weekend. And Mark says, I'm trying to cut down on my day one pre-orders, but I had to jump on 88 Films 4K release of Story of Ricky. Yeah. There's some stuff like we're going to dive into everything. I don't know what's being shown off today, but that one seemed intriguing to me. And I've been, certain pre-orders, I go back and forth. Like I hate the whole pre-order system with certain companies. Now, other companies I have no problem with because it just gets to me. It gets to me on time. It gets to me early. I get one. I don't usually have any issues, but it's like Amazon and some of the other ones are just kind of, they've been goofy and I just haven't been thrilled with it. And so I kind of stopped the Amazon or the pre-orders altogether for a while, but Arrow Video, I've been, super fan of the pre-order system. So I've had zero problems with Arrow Video. So I still use them and once in a blue moon, but then I did pre-order Eraser and I did that through Orbit DVD. But that was like a one-off. There's like a ton of stuff that I want to get and I'm, waiting. Speed Racer, the big chunky deluxe box set, I did pre-order that as well. And so that's also on the way. But other than that, it's one of those like things. Like it's not even like the slowing down on day one pre-orders. It's just that pre-order system is really just kind of screwed me over so many times. Hate it. Yeah, sure, blame me. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. That is exactly what we're gonna do. It's all your fault because I wouldn't have so much Asian cinema or Hong Kong stuff in my life if it wasn't for you anyway. So it is all your fault. But anyway. I'm so glad. Let's see. I'm so glad to 4K Blu-ray of 2010. Yeah, that's the one we're talking about because that's the one that's missing from my collection now. I do love that film, and I'm excited. I was gonna rewatch it this weekend because I love it, and that was one I was gonna get the Kino version anyway. But yeah, that is one I'm super stoked for. And they're getting a Blu-ray and the 4K for that release too. So we're going to dive into that because that is a film that I think is extremely underrated, and I think everybody should see it. I think it's absolutely fantastic, but I guess it's not for everybody. It's a sci-fi film about organ harvesting, but for profit. It's great. Let's see. To project the blame on others. Yes, that is actually yes. Yes, I do. I do love that. Let's see. Rafi says, "Did you hear about new releases of August 2026 from Radiance Films UK?" I don't know. We're gonna dive into. I don't know what's been announced. I'm not signed up to Radiance emails, so that's one I have to actually check every Saturday with you guys and talk about. So we're gonna dive into that one because. The Radiance emails, I don't know. I never signed up from them, and I only own like 2 Radiance films, but I do get excited because there are plenty of that I would like to have, but they're all out of print now. So I should stay more on top of that one for sure. There we go. I was close enough. It was in Not America. Wasabi took place in Tokyo. Yeah, I was right. Not America. Correct. Let's see. What do we got? Rivera 903. I love Forbidden City. The main guy and girl have great chemistry. Nice. I'm looking forward to it. I really am. Like I'm stoked about that one for sure. Yeah, I've noticed. I don't know what you're talking about, but enjoy. Anyway, so we got that. So we're diving into all that stuff, but now let's get into the things I'm stoked for and what we're here to talk about. All the new 4Ks, new Blu-rays, things I want to get into. And we'll talk about, I didn't bring everything up. I picked up some other things that are on this list. So I'll talk about them. I haven't watched them, so I've got no real opinion one way or another. But I'll tell you I bought them. Let's see. Share the screen. That. All right. So then we have all the new stuff coming out. And it looks like Mario's getting a new release. Did we know about this? Oh, let's see. I'm not doing that. How did that go over? Let's see. Hold on. It like took me off. It like messed up my entire screen trying to go to that page. All right. So anyway, it's a new release. Mario's getting a new release. And it was taking me to Amazon. But think we talked about that. And so that's up here. So Mario, new release March 30th on Blu-ray. So anybody that missed the big, giant, chunky box and they just want a standard edition, there is a release coming out. But this is what we're talking about. So the Scream Factory, Shout Factory announcements for July. And this is an interesting one because we've seen a lot of it the other way around where America gets a release first and then some of the overseas companies get it. But I actually have this one here and I was excited for this. So this would have been an easy day one pickup for me, but we knew about this a long time ago. This was announced months ago. And so I just got the imprint unlawful entry version. So Scream Factory is doing this as well. And I don't know if it's going to be the exact same thing, but it could be because it's what's on the back? Resurgence. So whoever owns the rights to this, the label seems to be Resurgence. So I don't know if they license it out to them or not, but we are getting a 4K Blu-ray special features, Dolby Vision, high definition presentation of the restored from the original 35 millimeter negative. So you're getting a brand new presentation of a restoration of this film. And a lot of the films lately I've been seeing on my end where it's almost like there's a good scan, but no restoration because you're still seeing some of the dirt and the artifacts that happen on older film. And they'll, lines on the screen or little tiny specks of black and pops. But the picture looks fantastic. There's just been no cleanup or restoration. But this claims to have a restoration. I have not watched it yet, but I am going to assume that this is going to be the same restoration. So let's see what they have. I mean, it could have a whole new one all on its own, but it seems like some of the companies have been doing these handshake deals lately. And this is coming out July 21st. You're getting HDR, Dolby Vision, and it says packaging inner print. So I guess it's printed on both sides. And DTS HD Master 5.1. Yeah, all this stuff is the same so far. And it doesn't say anything else there. But I love the film. I think it's fantastic. I have the VHS, but this one says, where is it? Did I miss it? Oh, here it is. Here, all the information that it says, it just tells you about the film. It doesn't tell you about any restoration here. Yeah, it just is the synopsis of the film. I think it's a fantastic film. So if you aren't going to be picking up the imprint version, and this comes in a big giant box of 6 or 7 different movies. So you're not going to get this all by itself just yet. Eventually, some of the more popular titles that come out of those boxes do get sold separately. So there is that. But if you want this film, I think the Shout Factory version is probably going to be fantastic. It is a high recommend. I do love this film. And if you haven't ever seen it, you got Ray Liotta in this film. You got Kurt Russell and Madeline Stowe. That's why I always forget Madeline Stowe. But fantastic film. So Kurt Russell is married to Madeline Stowe. And they move to a new neighborhood, and Ray Liotta is a police officer. He, or maybe they don't move, maybe they're just there, but he's a police officer, and he responds to a robbery gone wrong, and he ends up being obsessed with Madeline Stowe, Kurt Russell's wife, and he's an unhinged police officer, and it's absolutely fantastic. High recommend for sure. So there's that one. This is a movie I've never seen, Full Contact. But I'm excited. You can't give me more of this or enough of this stuff. And so Hong Kong cinema, Asian cinema, I'm all in. And anything with Chow Yun-fat, I'm into this. But I don't know if I absolutely love the cover, but I do like the Hong Kong Cinema Classics box sets. So that is interesting. But it looks like it's just a slipcover set. So all the other ones I've seen are giant or bigger box sets at $45. I don't think it's a horrible pre-order price, especially because it's going to go lower. But being a brand new 4K at that higher $40 price tag, I know it's not for everybody, especially if you're just getting a slipcover version. So this is something that you might be able to wait on. And then it has seemed like these have been getting licensed out to other companies because we've seen multiple versions of The Killer and all these other Hong Kong Cinema Classics. So you might not, unless you're collecting this line, you might not need to jump on it because it seems like it's going to get released by another company at some point as well. But that's something I'm excited for. I just honestly can't say I love the cover of that. Pleasantville. This is one that I know people have been talking about for a long time. I have the Blu-ray. I think it's fine. There is some room for improvement, but at that $45 price tag on the pre-order, I definitely don't need this day one. If I ever did upgrade, it would be on a sale, because I just picked up this Blu-ray after years of not having it. I think it's fine, and it's just the amount of times I'm going to rewatch this over and over again. I don't know if I need that 4K day one at all, or at all, period. And then Dark Shadows, which I do think is fantastic, is getting this steelbook. It's intriguing. At $50, these prices are creeping up, and I get it. Less people are buying this stuff, but it is just getting, some of it is getting too expensive to justify the double dips. And so in the past, if this was a bigger, chunkier box set, Dark Shadows, I enjoy the film. My daughter watches it a ton, but it's one of those ones where like I can't say that I would jump on the upgrade for that. It's a fantastic film. I think the Blu-ray looks great. This is a 4K here, but it's a steelbook only option. That's the other thing. And this one also comes out in July. So it is another one of those things. I don't love the fact that it's steelbook only, and realistically at $50, I don't necessarily think I need the upgrade on it. If I didn't have it in the collection, it would be a whole different story. And the same thing with this one, End of Watch. It's a fantastic film. I just picked up the Blu-ray like just before we moved, so not even that long ago. And this is another one that maybe eventually I would pick it up. I enjoy the film. It's fantastic. But for me, there's no day one rush. I didn't need to add this. If I didn't have it in the collection, it would probably be a day one pickup for sure. But that's one I'm going to keep my eye on. And honestly, I'll probably pick that one up on a sale. And it's only because I just got that Blu-ray not too long ago. Now, here is a day one pickup. And The Evil That Men Do. So anything with Charlie Bronson, that's an easy pickup for me. $26.99 on a regular Blu-ray with a movie with 3 cuts of the film. I think that is way more of a fair price than some of those other ones that we've been seeing. So that one I'm in on. That's an easy day one pickup, or within that, when it gets released, it's going to be higher on the list of stuff for me to add. So that one I'm excited for. And then this one, I didn't grab this. I have this as well. So the imprint version of this as well. And so what I'm 100% sure all of these were out of print titles they were released on Blu-ray, and some of them, like we're talking 2016, 2017, completely out of print. You can still find them. Some sites still have them. eBay has them. And so they're still around, but this is getting a re-release on Blu-ray, which is great. But I did pick up I got the imprint version. So I'll be talking about that as soon as I finish watching all of it. And that is a film that I love as well. So the 90s drama, like this is where I'm at. Like there's so many people that were like super into comedy and super into horror and everything. Like these are the films I was watching, crime dramas and like heavy hitting dramas, like the 90s. That was my era. So yeah, The Getaway, fantastic film. And another high recommend. The anime stuff here, I can't recommend it. I don't know. I'm still always just getting into it myself. I have not picked up an anime title this month. So if there's anybody that has anything to recommend, I will take recommendations because I've been picking up one each month for sure. And let's dive into the chat. We're going to talk about Wuthering Heights and the stuff that came out this week and the things that I have added. So what do we have? Oh, here we go. This makes more sense. Shout's Golden Princess releases are a mix of slips and bigger boxes, depending on the bigger movies. Okay, that makes sense. But still, even at the $45 pre-order price tag, giving us at $40, I think that's just, for whatever reason, in my head, $35 is a solid price for like a brand new 4K with a nice restoration, all that. And I know things are expensive and I get it. So I understand things have to go up, but creeping up to even at just seeing that $45 ask for the pre-order and just knowing that it's probably going to drop to like $38, $39, in that $40 range, it's harder for me to say all of these are day ones, even if it's a standard slipcover for sure. But yeah, it makes sense. Definitely makes sense. Let's see. And let's see. Jay Canada 9405. Hey, 80s, quick pop in to say hi before I head out for my birthday, 51. Well, happy birthday. Have a great time. I mean, obviously not too great of a time. And don't forget to watch a movie today, but enjoy, brother. And let's see. Helpless Heroes. I wanted to send help on 4K, but I'm waiting for the sale. Just released on Hulu, so I'll be able to watch it while I wait. Yeah, I still think it's worth picking up. I enjoyed Send Help, but I was more excited for that one when it was announced, and then I watched it, and I still think it's good. I still think it's worth picking up, but I'm not in a giant rush to get it myself now. And so that has changed how I've thought about things. Like there's definitely blind buys, and I know everybody handles it differently, but for me, I have less of a problem blind buying something and just spending some money on it, because if I don't like it, somebody else will. And so I never feel like it's like wasting my money or wasting my time, like if I don't like it. But the thing is, if I've already seen it, like it's going to be one of those things like I have to go, oh yeah, as opposed to that's a film that I was so excited I had to have it day one. So it has changed. I still think it's good. I still think it's worth watching. But yeah, for me, it's not a day one anymore. Just because I just watched it not too long ago. But yeah, I can get waiting for sure. Let's see. And Video Probe, no what? But good morning. Good morning, brother. I don't know what we're saying no to, but good morning. And yeah, good morning, brother. End of Watch, they already released on Steelbook, and let's see, End of Watch, they already released on Steelbook, and this should come in a bit cheaper in a couple of months after the release. The Steel has been about $45 Canadian for a while. Oh, see, yeah, that's the thing. I think I remember that now, because it was one of the things like I wasn't going to get the Steelbook, so there's that. But again, I think for me, waiting on that one, I have the Blu-ray, and so it's fine. And I got the Blu-ray cheap. It's not even like I got the Blu-ray. I found it at a used bookstore or the thrift store. I remember I found it cheap just before we moved. So it was one of those ones that, it wouldn't even be like hurting my wallet to do the upgrade. It's just I can't mentally. I just got the Blu-ray. The Blu-ray's fine, and I'll wait for a sale. And like we're talking, there's movies that are missing still. I got to buy The Saint, because it never made it in the move. And then this other one that we're talking about today, I went to Repo Man. I love that film, and it's coming out again, but I don't have it on the shelves anymore. So yeah, I'd rather focus that a little bit more. And good morning, Robert. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, brother. We did get the everyone this morning, but I always love that for sure. But good morning. How are you doing this weekend? Let's see. Rafi says, Shout Studios is making an excellent good Blu-ray sets. What about A24? Do you collect A24 Blu-rays and 4K discs? Well, A24 is not a touchy subject for me, but I know that I have been attacked for my thoughts on A24. So I have a few A24 titles, but the majority of their catalog is just not for me. I watch the films. I think some of them are fine. Some of them are one and dones, but they all suffer from this modern formula for making movies, and a lot of them feel like they're just disposable, or they should be on streaming, or the plot holes are just too ridiculous. And there are films that I love that you can point out all the plot holes, and I see them, but I don't see them. You know what I mean? So like, it's just somehow or other, I don't leave most A24 films like feeling that attachment, feeling that love. And the last one I picked up, and it was more of my love for Jenna Ortega and fantasy films. And so, yeah, there's that one where to the Death of a Unicorn. So it's this weird fantasy film where Paul Rudd is Jenna Ortega's dad. He's going on business and in a foreign country, and the family's like super mega rich, but also a little evil. And there's these magical unicorns with magical blood, and then the unicorns kill everybody because they accidentally killed a unicorn. And it's crazy. CGI is a little over the top, but I loved it. I loved that one. But there's many A24 films that I leave, and I'm like, I get it. They're just not for me. And so there's that. So I have a few, but not a ton. And almost all of them, I don't find the need to want to rewatch it. but I think they're fine. And the fact that it seems like they're stepping more into getting the rights to stuff and being able to make it and maybe put out some of that older stuff. I would rather A24 did a lot more of that, like Criterion does, as opposed to making a lot of their own films. I get everybody's got their own lane, and there are fans. They're huge fans of it, but I would love for A24 to pick up a lot of the get the licensing rights to some of the obscure hidden gems that from the 80s and 90s that fall under, they would have the same kind of fan base. But some of those hidden gems, I think those are absolutely fantastic. And, I just kind of don't see a lot of those films going to Criterion or going elsewhere, but I think they could really live on A24. And that's what I would love to see happen, but it doesn't seem like that's the direction we're getting. Nice. I actually let's dive into this one here. Got my copy of Fight Club and my Arrow Nightbreed chunky box this weekend. Nice. I still got to get Nightbreed. Much better than the shout release, and the transfer on Fight Club is excellent. Yeah, I am really looking forward to that, and that's where I'm going to break my no steelbook rule. I'm going to get that one, and I'll get that stupid protector case for the steelbook because I do want Fight Club. I just rewatched the Blu-ray, and I just want the 4K now. So I'm excited. I love that film, and yeah, I do want that one. But I also I expect more. I mean, maybe we won't. Maybe we will just get this one steelbook, and then a year or two from now, maybe we'll get a re-release on a regular standard version. But I kind of almost expect this steelbook to kind of be a big deal, and then next year, another studio somewhere. It would feel dumb if they just didn't, if that's what they stuck with. But you never know. You never know. I just feel like that's one that would print money, and it would print money if they pumped out this steelbook and then they license it out to other companies. I think that they just know it always sells. Fight Club is one of the ones that always sells. What do we got? Let's see. My friend in BC, what is that? British Columbia. My other friend in Manitoba, both from Canada. Provinces are pre-ordering 2 Blu-rays and 4K steelbooks from Shout Factory Studios by Groove Entertainment US. Canada is very expensive. Yeah, I get it. And importing titles is rough too. If that's all you have as an option, and that's why I do love when titles get re-released, and they get re-released in other countries. And some people get mad about that, but it really does make sense because anything that I import from other countries, it costs an arm and a leg, and I get it. And I understand it's also not for everybody. I choose to do that. And if you're stuck, and I get there's somebody in Denmark that's kind of stuck pre-ordering stuff from other countries. So I get that it really does suck. And so the ability to have more stuff available locally and your local boutique label or, local to your country is putting stuff out. I think that is so much better. And the fact that I was able to get this imprint version, but Shout Factory's putting the same thing out. I think that is fantastic. I really do. And that's the thing. And a lot of the stuff that I'm going to talk about this week, or this month at least, out of print stuff. I got out of print titles coming in now that I paid more money for, and not all of them are stuck behind that Disney paywall, that Disney, everything's just kind of locked up by Disney. Some of them are Warner Brothers titles. Some of them are things that really just, I think, almost kind of got forgotten about and just need a resurgence. And so I'm glad that a lot of this stuff is getting re-released for sure. And I get things are expensive. And so you do have to weigh your options. What's a day one? What is a must? And that's why I always say you can always go back to DVD. I get it's not for everybody, but there's so many fantastic films that are stuck on that format. But if a $40 or $50 Blu-ray is just, to you for whatever reason, it's not worth it. And I'm not saying everybody's at a different point in their collecting journey. Everybody has different budgets. So there are titles where it gets put out on a more expensive boutique Blu-ray, and it's a day one pickup. I'm not saying it doesn't matter the price, but sometimes those prices don't sticker shock me, and I'm I gotta have it. And then there's $18, $20 Blu-rays, and I'm I'll get the $1 DVD. And so it depends on the title, but 2, it really just depends on your journey and what journey you're on. I get it. Some stuff's expensive for sure. The A24 topic. This should be a good one. Yeah. I tried to keep it safe today. Not even safe, but I think I've said it so much. I'm over it. I'm over it. Yeah, A24 is a bit overrated. Yeah, I get it. And the thing is, there's like A24 bros, and like when I've come attacked by those A24 bros, and like I laugh, like it's fine. Like you can like what you like, and when I get it, I'll talk about my thoughts on A24, and then I get attacked like I've never seen foreign cinema, and like I've never enjoyed, like I don't have silent films in my collection. And I think that what was the line? It was a crazy line. It was something like, just I like oversaturated colors with dumb plots, and sometimes I do. And I think those are absolutely fun. And you can like what you like, but I do have an eclectic taste. And so my opinion on A24 isn't based on I only like this. I like a lot of it. And so I look at it with that whole other side too. Like I can understand why some people like this, but if you're coming from this like pretentious way of like A24 is like the cat's meow, I don't know what kind of alley you're hanging out in, because I don't want to be there. That's just me. A lot overrated. Yeah. I'm there. Let's see, what do we got? Blue Corner says, we're getting the standard cover release of Fight Club 4K here in Europe if you don't want this deal. Oh, well, then thank you. I would rather import that. And so to me, again, like we talk about that, I would rather spend more money to have the thing that I want. And I don't want a steelbook, and I don't want a steelbook only. And even when I can appreciate those steelbooks, but I don't care what anybody says, like how you got to take care of them and protect them and do all this other stuff. If you can't just pick it up and enjoy it and hold it, and you have to treat it with kid gloves, then it's meant to be displayed as opposed to being watched all that often. And I get, if you don't have kids, you don't have family, it's just you, it's way easier to take care of that stuff. But for me, I'd rather just have a case. And some of my favorite films I still collect on a steelbook. I've gone through and gotten the regular standard version. Like I have Howard the Duck steelbook, and I have it on the magnets in a frame right here that I can look at. It's on display. That version of the 4K, I have not watched since I put it there, because it's a display piece for me. I think the artwork is fantastic. It's cool to have. I can always take it out. It's stuck on by magnets. And then I have the standard version now, and I think that's great, because that's the go-to watch. Yeah. See, Denmark, who, what, where? Yeah, whatever. I'm a friend, just not a great friend. That's where I'm at. Let's see, what do we got? Refi says, so my friend from BC, did we already talk about that? Yeah, we did. Chat jumped. Yeah, A24 bros want to be Criterion bros. They really do. Like that's the thing. It's like there's that, and then there's this other one. There's IFC. Now I have a few IFC films in my collection, and I've never thought twice of how it's kind of in that same thing until I got hit with an IFC bro, and it was the thing. Like, and this was a long time ago. This was like before I was really getting any kind of traction here, and we were creating this community. So this was like years ago, and I got invited onto this live stream. There was this group of people that were talking about movies. I just happened to pop in, talking to them, and they sent me the link, and because like somebody knew I had a YouTube channel, and so I jumped on, and that was the very first question that was asked of somebody that wasn't hosting. It was just a random person that was also on the panel. And their literal question to me was, how many IFC films do you own? Like, it was just a random question. And it was even before I had the app where I can like break that stuff down and see how many movies I owned. Like at that time, I just knew I had thousands that I never bothered to count. And I still don't. Like the app tells me. And so like that's the only reason I even know. But it was just like, it was so weird. And I was like, I only knew that I had the one because it's a Flypaper. I love it. It's a heist film, and I think it's fantastic. But that was like the only one that I could even come up with. And then he trashed that, and then like had this like whole pretentious way about it. And then he didn't talk to me like the whole rest of the time I was on the stream. And I was just like, I just feel like I just watched an IFC film the other day, and I had this one thought when I left. I felt like IFC films are like the poor version of Criterion films. Like it's like the poor man's Criterion. Like it just has that same thing. They're like pretentious in like a weird way, and not all of them, because I have Flypaper and I love it, and I haven't seen all of them, but all the films I've seen, like they have this feel about them, and it seems like it's like almost avant-garde, or you're like the people that really enjoy that look down on everybody else. It's like it just kind of has that vibe. But I'm like, but nobody talks about IFC. IFC feels like it's its own little thing. But there's IFC bros for sure. You can like what you like, but you are wrong. Put words in your mouth. Yeah, for sure. Exactly. 100%. It really is. Yeah, like what you like, for sure. But you are wrong. Let's see. My other friend from Manitoba province of Canada pre-ordered two of the sci-fi Blu-ray titles. Communion 1989 with Christopher Walken, unknown classic movie. Yeah, that's one I might want to check out. Where did I put my notepad? Oh, I threw it way over there. So I have to rewatch this to remember. So what is this one called? Communion. Okay, I'll double check that out. And Space Truckers. I've seen Space Truckers. I have this film in Films Hall. Nice. Yeah. Great. Communion, something I got to check out. I don't know if I've seen a lot of Christopher Walken stuff, but like that's one. What is it? What is Communion? Let's see. Communion. All right. December 26, 1985. A strange nightmare and following days, plagued by painful headaches. Okay, I have not seen this, but I might. Aliens? Let's see, what is this? Let's see. Plagued by painful headaches, his behavior becomes increasingly erratic. Later, under hypnosis, he realized that his dream was not a dream at all, and the cover shows an alien face. Let's see. So yeah, that is something. Christopher Walken, I'm in. I'm sold. It's a rated R supernatural horror alien invasion movie. I'm in. Yep, I'll look for that one for sure. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. And morning to the break. Good morning, brother. Criterion Light, maybe. Yeah. Like diet Criterion. That's funny. Yeah. Let's see. I don't understand. Robert says, I don't understand the battle of the boutique labels. People divide over anything. I can't read the rest of it because of the stupid little tiny monitor here. It's sad. Yeah. So that's the thing is I don't have that real thing. I buy everything. And it's just like that. I don't hold really too many of them in that higher regard. Like they have the higher regard because they have the films I love. And so I think there are some fantastic labels out there, and it really is about the movie. So like the whole, like getting on that giant bandwagon of like, if you don't like IFC or you don't like A24, then, oh my God, you're really not a movie fan. Those movies don't appeal to me, and I have a few of them in my collection, but I have way more Criterions and Arrow videos and imprint films because those are the films that I enjoy. And even in my collection doesn't look like yours. It doesn't look like most people's because I have like I was saying, like my taste in movies, like I remember being a teenager, my taste in movies was, gritty crime dramas and like the not tear jerkers, but like hard, heavy films. Like that's where I was at. All my friends were watching things like Dumb and Dumber and, Ace Ventura and all that stuff. And I watched it, but I didn't ever turn my nose up to it, but it always felt like a one and done. I'm like, I get it, but I don't get it, or it's not for me. But now as an adult, I'm diving back into all that stuff, and I'm super excited. So I don't know if I had this like raunchy comedy phase, almost like a midlife crisis. And I joke about that because, like I said, I watched it when I was a kid, and I'm like, it's fine, but give me those hard hitting dramas. Like I love it. I got something coming today. I forget the name of it already. It's the one where Samuel L. Jackson is a cop, but he harasses his neighbors. Lakeview Terrace, that's the one. So like those are the types of movies that I would have been in when I was like a 8, 9, 10, 12, like in that range. Like those are my jam. And I just ordered that. Somebody was talking about it the other day that they had picked it up. I forgot all about it. I didn't have it. And it was an instant pickup because I love those types of films. And so if the label is putting out the films you love, then of course you're going to love them. And then if they do a great job at it, then they become your favorite. And so like my top 3 is Imprint, Arrow Films or Arrow Video, and then Criterion. Criterion is my third. I love the films, but they have a vast catalog, and the ones I have in my collection I love, but 1,200 plus films, and they've been doing it since Laserdisc days. And there's a ton of Laserdiscs that never got ported over to the next format from Criterion. They have a massive collection and they do a great job, but I can't blanketly state, all of the Criterions are amazing because there's a million films there that I would never watch. And it's the same for everybody. And so the whole picking sides and fighting and standing on your, I don't get it. Just like you said, it doesn't make sense to me, but I understand the psychology behind it. If they put out the films you love, then they're your favorite boutique label. Like that's the hands down the way to go. And so then if you start to talk negatively about it, people want to fight about it. People want to argue because no matter what, in every situation, people just want to be validated. And so, it doesn't matter if you bought something, you like something, you just want to have that. And that's how communities work. Like here's this. So if I just started talking about nothing but A24 all the time and I switched over, like I can't imagine most of the people would stay. These Saturday shows would not be the same. We'd have new people coming in and a lot of old people leaving because it's just the same thing. Like we don't like the same things, but there's crossover. We don't all always have to love everything exactly the same way or have the same opinion. And that's the greatest thing about it. So yeah, I'm right there with you. I think the fighting over it, I think is ridiculous. And the gatekeeping stuff is crazy. So like I was just talking to somebody not too long ago and it was over Star Wars and they didn't pick up Star Wars because there was this like basic stuff on the internet. This version's good, this version's not good. And this constant conversation, you're not a fan if you don't have this version. And the thing is, not everybody's in that same place. And I get even with Star Wars, that whole conversation of like the people wanting those original uncut versions is because that's what you saw in the theater. That's what you loved. But even the original VHS tapes, the Red Label CBS Fox, even those have some edits. So they're not exactly the same as what you saw in theater, but they are the closest that hasn't been those fan edits, those fan files that you can download from the internet. But everything else, like after that, the VHS, the Red Label CBS VHS Fox, and the Laserdisc. The Laserdiscs are pretty close to being what was seen in theaters with the least amount of changes, but everything's been changed. And so as a Star Wars fan, I've collected all of it. I have all of it and I can watch whatever and I can enjoy that. But there are people that will like literally look down on you if you're into 4K and you just bought the new 4K Star Wars with all of the edits, all of those CGI changes, and they'll look down on you as not a real fan because, my kid never saw it in theaters. So my kid has been a fan since she's been 2. She loves Star Wars. She's been watching it. She watches the prequels and she has her favorites and she has different VHS tapes that are not those original CBS ones. And so they have some of the edits into them because she loves them because they have George Lucas commentary in the beginning. There's like an interview with George Lucas on one of them. And there's edits in that. And that's her favorite version to watch. And she doesn't care. And like, that's the thing is sometimes you just got to let people enjoy what they do. So the whole gatekeeping in these communities, I think is weird. And I'll never do it. Like I'll break balls and I'll like tease people, like, especially if we become close friends here. But like, there's no way that I would ever hold up this version of, this boutique label and this and say, oh, this is the version. And if you don't have this, then you're not a true fan. Now, what I do understand is like, there's a reason behind collecting. And if you want the bigger, chunkier box sets and these big giant boutique, there's a coolness factor to that collecting aspect of it. But yeah, it doesn't, there's certain transfers that people argue are better than others. And you can put stuff under a microscope and pause. And sometimes, not always. There are times where there literally is a better transfer on a different label because there's a new transfer. But there have been times, and you can see it on Reddit, where it is 100% the exact same transfer, and they're arguing because it's a different label, and they're claiming that that's a better transfer. 100, and I was just like, you can do the research and see that it's the same. It's literally the same. So you're only just fighting over the label at that point. Helpless Heroes. Are you into watching any sports? No, I am famously not a sports fan. Never have been. I am just a solid movie guy. But I do have some sports movies that I enjoy, and because at the end of the day, they're just stories. My wife is into college football, but I've never been a sports fan, except for when I was a kid. Like when I was in grade school, I was into baseball. I grew up in upstate New York, so I followed the Yankees. I collected baseball cards. But I'm telling you, by third grade, I dropped all that and just been a movie guy my entire life. So yeah, I don't. And like it's another thing, I'm never going, oh my God, sports, because like some people go nuts over that stuff. But my in-laws are super into sports. My father-in-law, all day long, if he has control of the television, if we go visit, it's golf, it's football, it's space, it's whatever season it is all day sports. And so I bring my portable DVD player when that happens. But I understand it, and I understand people enjoy that stuff. But yeah, it's never been for me, never. And that's the other benefit of having this room and having this community, is because when my wife watches football and sports, like I can watch a VHS tape on my old CRT television and have so much enjoyment out of that and not being stuck watching football. Let's see. Communion. Think Close Encounters meets Fire in the Sky with Walken, Tusk in the mix. Sold. Break. You can't sell me anymore. Like that's an amazing film. Like, yeah, I'm in. I'm solidly in. I hope it's great, but I need to find that now for sure. Yep, a supernatural sci-fi horror film. Starred out Christopher Walken is insane movie. Nice. Is there a Blu-ray of that? I will definitely pick that up. If not, I'll just look for the DVD. But yeah, I think I need that. See who here watched Shroud's 2024, the last David Cronenberg film, Crimes of the Future. Yeah, I didn't watch those. I didn't watch Crimes of the Future. Wasn't for me. Let's see. What do we got? Ooh, Robert. Let's see. I pre-ordered The Great Outdoors on 4K Blu-ray from Kino Lorber. I'm so excited. Yeah, I'm excited for that one too. And yeah, I was like, it's an easy pickup for me. I'm really looking forward to it, but then it's one of those things like that film. I love it so much. I don't think I'm going to part with the Blu-ray. I think I'm just going to give the Blu-ray to my daughter, add it to her collection, so it's not going to leave the house, and I'm just going to pick up that 4K. It's a solid. That's a solid want for sure. Let's see. Scott says, I know I mentioned this last week, but the 1993 movie Ruby in Paradise needs at least a Blu-ray or available on DVD. Yeah, I'm looking for that one. I remember you did, but I don't know if I told you, but like if just hit up some of the labels, like don't harass them. They'll just start seeing it as nonsense. But if you think that it should have a restoration, a lot of these labels don't know what's available, and depending on the label, I don't know who owns the rights to that film. So like some films are harder to do than others, but if it's like easy for them to get the rights to it, it's easy for them to restore it, it's possible. And so depending on what kind of film it is, like, hit up the right label. And I've never said anything to Criterion, but like I have emailed quite a few of the labels, once a year, I guess. I'll just go through and I'll hit up some labels, and not all in the same movie. Like I'll have like 4 or 5 movies and I'll recommend them to this label or that label. And then hopefully, it just gets on their radar, whether they're able to get it or not. It's just one of those things that people are asking for. And so, it's one of those things. And then always it's just a generic response of, we'll get this over to our buying team or we'll look into it, but at least it gets it on their radar. So that is one thing you could do. Revenge of the Sith is peak. Helpless Heroes. Yeah, I'm not disagreeing. I enjoy the original trilogy. Like that's where I'm at. I saw the prequel trilogy in theaters at that time. I was a later teenager. And then I really enjoyed them more when I introduced Star Wars to my kids. And my youngest daughter, huge fan of the prequels. She will not stop talking about Hayden Christensen. That is like a daily conversation. And there's a few actors that she gets in on. So like if they're in a film, she's all in on it. So Nicolas Cage, she's a huge Nicolas Cage fan. And I don't even know from where. Like that's the crazy part. Like I can't tell you what film made her a Nicolas Cage fan, but she is a fan. And she was very disappointed by Renfield. She thought Renfield was gross, but she was stoked for it. And then Hayden Christensen, she'll watch anything he's in. And Samuel L. Jackson, she'll watch anything he's in. But I have to like put a kibosh on some of this stuff because I'm like, it's not for you. It's definitely not for you. But she is a fan. Those are like 3 actors. And she'll watch anything with Arnold Schwarzenegger because he's got muscles and she loves that. And I'm like, she does not believe the 70-year-old version of him now, like the old him. She does not believe that's him. She thinks that's AI. She only believes like Conan era Arnold is the only one that exists. And so there's that. Those are like the solid actors that she'll watch any film they're in. And that's the thing. So yeah, Revenge of the Sith for her. I think that's one of her favorites too. I just found out yesterday. So I am a fan of the original trilogy and I talk about it all the time, but I've always been, and I understand Empire is a great film. So I'm not even arguing that it's better or worse or anything, but works better for me. And the one I've always enjoyed more is Return of the Jedi. I love that film. And, I just found out yesterday she actually hates the film, and I thought she was going to play in with the Ewoks. Now there was something else. Some little creature like bothered her. Oh, all of the creatures in Jabba's palace. That's what it was. All the creatures in Jabba's palace bother her now, so now she does not love that film, and Empire is her all-time favorite. So yeah, that's a new thing. Yeah, but yeah, I think Revenge of the Sith is up there for her too. Sith says, I think Leonard Nimoy. I think Leonard Nimoy's quote on canon can be applied to fandom in a wider scope. Canon is only important to certain people because they have to cling to their knowledge of the minuet. Oh yeah, you know what? I get that. And that really does make sense. But I've never held it really important. Now I've held it important that I have those originals and I have them uncut, but I have the other versions and it really doesn't bother me. If I were picking them up off the shelf, like that's the version I go to because I watched those Red Labels, CBS and Fox VHSs. That was my first time watching it. And so I understand that, but I've watched all the others since and they never really bothered me to a point. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of CGI. I never have been. It has its uses, but I love practical effects. And so I wasn't like the pearl clutching, like freaking out because it happened. I just add them all. I have them all. And so I get it. Yeah, that really is a solid way to think of it for sure. And even then, even in the whole kind of canon conversation, when you have these things, like they talk about them all the time, where certain films or certain TV shows, like they continue on to a point where then the fans turn on it and they're not a big fan anymore. And there's a reason. I have always done that myself, like in TV shows specifically. If the later TV shows aren't that great, I'm not into them. I don't need to revisit them. I don't need to watch them. I can enjoy them, you know, in the few that I like Nip Tuck was my favorite one. So I watched that entire thing. And then it was because that happened when the writer's strike happened. And so when the writer's strike happened, the first one, like not the last one, but the first one in the early 2000s, they had this writer's strike. And then Nip Tuck and a ton of TV shows got affected by this. And so it put a pause on it. And then when it came back, it wasn't the same. You had different writers, you had a different feel, a whole different vibe, and a different direction for what the show was doing and to what it ended up becoming. And so those first, like, I think it's 3 seasons before the writer's strike, I think are 100% solid, and I don't feel the need to revisit the other ones. So I don't even need to own them. And for me, that canon is the first 3 that I love. And it's the same thing with The Simpsons. Simpsons is such an ongoing, long TV show. I only ever really got into the first 8 seasons when it was on TV. And that's all I've, been into. And it's going like 27, 28, 30 seasons now later, it's still going on. I don't want to watch all that stuff. I only want to watch the 8. I think the 8 are great, and so that other stuff exists because there is an audience, there is a fan, and that there are fans, and that's fine. It's fine for them, but it's also fine for me to like what I like, and that's where it becomes a problem, is when people try to gatekeep and they try to tell you you're wrong. And no, like what you like. Nobody's wrong. Enjoy what you enjoy, unless you enjoy something like really wrong, like for real. You know, like don't do that. I'm talking about specifically movies. Enjoy what you like. I'm not trying to bad influence anybody this weekend. Let's see. I don't care about sports films either. I got burned out as a kid. Yeah, I get that. I'm just my other thing is, like, I've always had this thing where you can talk about movies and you can enjoy stuff, and I that's my favorite. But when it would always come to like sports, like it would do that thing, the thing that was mentioned earlier. It's this like weird binary, and unless you're like a super fan, you guys are in the same fandom for the team. Like, I would always be at work and I would hear these people and they would argue back and forth about sports, and everybody argues about everything. So you can argue about everything. I get it, but it was just the constant hearing the same talking points over and over and over again about a losing sports team. Like they're like these super fans of the losing sports team, and then you have these like people that would just kind of kick them when they're down. It was that constant banter, and I get some people enjoy that. That's why it continues. But I got burnt out on that kind of talk. Just going to work every day. I'd love a re-release of MASH on Blu-ray. That would be great. I would pick up MASH. Now, I watched some reruns. I never watched the entire thing. But yeah, a new release, I would probably pick it up for sure. The quote comment was more referring to the boutique label, this version or that version conversation. Oh, I get it. But yeah. I mean, it's a great quote, and it's a great way to think for sure. enjoy what you like, but you're wrong. Got it. Yeah. That's right. Let's see. Let's dive back into the other stuff that's coming out. Let's see. Okay, so we've talked about this 28 years later, Bone Temple stuff. I'm gonna dive into that. So I just started watching the one that just came out before this, the newer one, 28 years later. I started watching that, and like, I just don't see myself like being super into these where I need to own them. So I think that's fine. If you love them, great. I just don't think they're for me. I did pick up Wuthering Heights because there was some interest and intrigue there. So I picked up Wuthering Heights. I haven't watched it yet, but I also hear there's some complainers that love the story, love the book, and then are complaining that this is not the book. Well, I was like, welcome to our world. That happens all the time when they adapt books or franchises or games or anything. Oh, and speaking of games, apparently there's this huge thing about critics are hating on the new Mortal Kombat movie. Now, I wasn't the biggest fan of the last Mortal Kombat movie. I didn't hate it, but I wasn't like, into that where I'm like, oh, I need more. But this second one, the trailer looks amazing. I'm super in. I'm excited. I'm going to have to rewatch that other one now. But the critics are complaining about it, and they're like mad. Like one of the quotes from one of the critics about the film was like, these people don't understand movies, franchises, cinema, characters, and they can't separate, nuance, or they can't separate what they like from what, an actual film, and look at it critically. And so one of the quotes from an actual like critic, not just some guy on the internet, it was a critic reviewing the film, was mad that Kano has laser eye. Like, that was like a direct quote, like that it was unbelievable. And it basically ruined the entire film for him. And I was like, one, you've never heard of Mortal Kombat. Two, like, this movie looks closer to the game than many of the other video game adaptions I have ever. And I'm super in. But yeah, apparently critics are upset. And then the director went on to say something like the film was made for fans, not for critics, or something like that. Or maybe that was one of the critics' complaints. I think that, no, I think that's what it was. I think that was the critic complaint, was that Mortal Kombat 2 was made for fans and not for critics. That is ridiculous to even think that movies should not be made for fans. Like, what are you doing with your life? Like, I get not every movie's for everybody, but there's a movie for you. And maybe you shouldn't be a movie critic if you can't look at things with, from just stepping outside your own comfort zone and looking at it, why somebody else might enjoy that. Like, and that's a crazy thing. But yeah, the criticism of Mortal Kombat 2 is horrible because Kano has a laser eye. Like, okay. Like, none of the other stuff, like Goro, like none of it really, it's all fine. Just the laser eye bothered you. Like, okay. All right. So anyway, so I digress. Let's talk about the stuff that just came out and things I picked up. So I picked up Wuthering Heights. I haven't watched it yet. GI Samurai. I got the Arrow video. I got Arrow video coming in the mail of that, and Blue Thunder. So those two are coming. I have not seen them yet. I hear fantastic things about GI Samurai. I love Blue Thunder. I had the VHS. So that's a huge upgrade for me. So those were things I needed to have. And then I just showed off Warrior and Sorceress. I picked that up. This movie, I have it, School Spirit, but it was another one of those re-releases of an out-of-print title. So I am glad that is becoming a thing, that out-of-print titles are coming back, especially, and not even just by other labels, by the original label that put it out in these boutique. I think that's great. So those are all the things that just got released that I picked up. And I have Dracula, but I imported that a while ago. So I think that's a fantastic film. I don't think it replaces the Bram Stoker's Dracula from the 90s for me, but it's up there. It's one of my favorites. I enjoy it, but I still love that Bram Stoker's. That's my favorite. So those are the things I picked up. And then we talked about Seventh Voyage of Sinbad, Ready or Not 2. There's that. I just watched this the other day. I was not a fan. Now, this is a Disney film, and we're stoked. My kid gets into Disney films, Disney, Pixar, and it was fine. But this is another one. I think it felt very messagey. It felt like they were adding political stuff into a kid's movie, and it was all on the surface. But it was like people are bad, animals are good. The people are destroying the one mayor was put in these speakers to drive the animals out so then he could develop their land. And so it's the man taking over the land, and then the animals now got to fight back. And this girl gets put into a robot, and then she has to then infiltrate the animals, and she ruins everything. Like, she doesn't make anything better. She ruins everything. And then at the end of it, she's what is she doing? Oh, at the end of it, she ends up working for the mayor, and the mayor sees the error of his ways. Like, that was the whole thing of this movie. I was not into it. And my kid ended up, who loves all this stuff. She's 9. This was the target audience, supposedly. She left saying it was stupid. And I keep my mouth shut when it comes to that type of stuff, because I don't want to put my thoughts on anything into anything that my kid might like. And I'll let her like it or hate it or whatever. And then I will express my opinion on stuff like this. And so this was her ending the film saying she thought it was the dumbest thing she ever saw. And that's from a 9-year-old. And she's grown up. She has not grown up in the social media era, even though she has access to it. She hasn't had access to it. She's grown up the way I did. 80s, 90s, movies, TV shows, all that stuff. And so she's bombarded with all the old stuff with only a very little of the new stuff sprinkled in. And this is something, she watched it and she left not liking it. I don't like it. I don't even know who the film's for. So this film, the main character, she's in college. So generally when they create cartoons, the main character, that's the age group for the person. Like, that's who the target audience is supposed to be. So like Goonies is a kid's movie. But I mean, like, there's outliers. You can make kids movies or adult movies, vice versa. You can change some things around. You can do things. And I'm not saying adults can't enjoy stuff or kids can't enjoy stuff that's not. But generally, when you write a story, you create a character, your target audience is that same age, in that range. And so this girl's a college level or college-aged girl who is fighting the man, and she's an activist, and she's constantly arguing. There's scenes in the film where she's constantly yelling at the mayor, and they're yelling at each other because the mayor's always doing something, and then she's always being an activist. And that just, it doesn't even sound like it's a kid's movie, but it is. So yeah, that's coming out on Blu-ray and 4K. Nothing I can get excited for. And I have not gotten excited for any new, like, straight up Disney properties in a very long time. But I mean, there's a reason that people keep going back to the old stuff. So we got that one. And then let's see, what do we got? Caroline, what is this? Magnolia Entertainment. I haven't seen a Magnolia thing in forever. What is this? Is this a new thing? Came out in 2025. It's being released. This is something that's probably up my alley. What is this? This is a drama, crime, romance, thriller. Yep, this is my my wheelhouse for sure. A young woman joins a charming con man, I'm sold, on the run, leaving a trail of crime and passion as they hustle through the south east in search for her estranged mother. Okay, like a Bonnie and Clyde type of story. I'm in. Yeah, crime spree across the country while having an agenda. Yeah. So that's something I'm going to check it out for sure. Interested in that one. And what was it? Samara Weaving? Yeah, I'm sold. I like her. I've been picking up more of her films. Big fan. I'm sold for sure. Hunter's Blood, big chunky box from Synapse. Is this the one that somebody was asking if I was picking up the Synapse stuff? So I didn't know about this one. Let's see, from 1986. Yeah, this is a 80s horror film. I might check it out. I don't know if I'm picking it up. First one is, I don't know if it's a high recommend from anybody. Adventure, thriller, action, horror. So that's something I'm into, and I would not be opposed to watching it. But it's just, do I need to spend the money on this big chunky box for this film on a blind buy? So it's one of those things. Like, it really depends on how high of a recommend it comes from some of you guys. It is region free, a new 4K restoration. I do love 80s cinema, and I could be in. That's the issue. I could be in. It would be a huge blind buy for me for sure. We got all that. What is this? Cop and Blue Jeans from Raro Video. So these are foreign films. I think they're all. Jack Palance is in this. Maybe not. All the Raro films I was looking at, maybe I thought were all foreign films. Maybe that's what it is. So this is from 1976. And Raro Video. Oh, Raro Video US. Okay, there we go. Okay, that's the difference. But that's something I might pick up. Jack Palance film from the 70s. I'm into that stuff. And that would be an easy blind buy for me. For sure. I just picked up a Raro film the other day. I haven't watched it yet, though. But this is something I'm excited for. Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls. Now, here's the two reasons I'm excited for this. So Imprint Films is actually doing the restoration on this. This is a first time to 4K worldwide release. And you're getting you're going to get a ton of stuff with this. This looks like it's going to be on the lenticular. Let's see. Let's go down here and read what it says. So 4K plus the Blu-ray, plus you're getting the art cards. And a full-size poster there. Well, a full-size Australian poster, it looks like. You're getting a book. Okay, so no art cards this time. That's actually, I don't mind that. I don't mind at all. So you're getting a nice book. You're getting the poster. Great. A nice box set. Is this, did it say lenticular? It doesn't say lenticular. Okay, so no, maybe it doesn't. But it is worldwide first on 4K UHD, restored from the original 35mm negative by Viavision Entertainment. And I have really enjoyed their restorations. Now, not everything that they have put out, they have actually restored. A lot of it has been licensed out, but everything that they have officially licensed or officially restored, I have been a big fan of. So this is a worldwide release, and they have done partner deals with other labels where they've done restorations, and then they have licensed that out, and then eventually they put out a version of it, and we've seen that quite a bit. And so I'm not sure if there's anything going on. I have no knowledge of that, but I would suspect, since they took the time to restore this and do this, that it's potential that this could get a restoration or a license to another company later on down the road. But 4K, I'm definitely into this one. I enjoyed rewatching the Ace Ventura the other was it a couple weeks ago? I watched Ace Ventura and I really enjoyed that. And then going back into all these older Jim Carrey comedies that back then I thought were okay, and I'm a huge fan now. Something changed in my life, but I just love all these films. So this is a huge one for me and something I want to grab. But I'm excited over the fact that they're doing the restoration. I would like to see, especially comparing it to some of the other stuff. Oh, this does say lenticular. So this is coming in a, let's see, all housed in an individually numbered lenticular hard case. And been a huge fan of their lenticulars. And so that's something I'm excited for sure. We're going to dive in. Let's get back into the chat. There's quite a few things here. Oh, there is an obscure horror film that I'm trying to get. And so as we talk about that, that's one I would love to get a new release. So we'll talk about that too, because it just popped into my head. It's a Sean Astin horror film. Let's see, what was it? Let's see. I just added it to my cart because it was something I wanted to revisit. But the other one is because I was looking for Sean Astin films, and Whitewater Summer is a film that's stuck on DVD. It's got a higher price. Like used DVDs on eBay, like we're talking $30 plus shipping and tax for a used DVD. Now that's one I would love for it to come out, but this is a Sony Pictures thing, so I'm not sure where it is, or I would love for them to put it out. And so I'd hate to spend $35 plus tax and shipping to get a DVD if we potentially could get a Blu-ray or a 4K at some point. But that's one I would love to get a release. But yeah, I just can't see myself spending the closer to $40 on this used DVD. All of them have that high listings. Oh, The Willies, that's the one. The Willies. I think that's a super fun horror film, and that is one I would love to come. Now, this is not the original cover I ever saw. So there is this one here, I think. So this is the cover I saw before, but the other cover that they have on some of them, I think, are a little bit cooler. But so that's the cover. It's like there's this rubber monster suit monster. They're camping. I think it's fun. You got a young Sean Astin there. And but this is the cover that I keep seeing now. And I think this is great. And so I would love the Vinegar Syndrome should put this out. Like that's where I don't know who owns the rights to the Willies, but I think it's too bright. Here, let me turn that down. Let's see, is that better? Yeah. So the Willies, I think that is super fun. And I'm like, why doesn't Vinegar Syndrome put that out? Who put this one out? Echo Ridge Entertainment. Yeah, Echo Ridge is the only thing on here. I don't see who else distributed the film. So yeah, that would be a fantastic Vinegar Syndrome pickup for sure. But yeah, as we dive in, let's see, what do we got here? Oh, what are we talking about? And MASH was about the movie. I'd watch both of them. I would watch the show. I would watch the movie for sure. So that's the thing. I remember the reruns were always on TV. I don't think I ever saw the movie. That's the thing. I think I've seen the TV show here and there, like from the time I was like a little kid. Those reruns were always on, especially later at night. But yeah, the movie, I don't think I've ever seen it. 4K transfer for Bone Temple is awesome. Yeah, it's going to have some fans, and definitely enjoy it if you enjoy it. And it probably will look absolutely fantastic. I just can't say, like, as far as my zombie films, like, I don't think that's one I want to just keep revisiting. But I was watching the 28 Years Later. I was enjoying it. But it's one of those films, like, there's times where, you know, in my life, like, I get interrupted while watching movies. And certain movies, like, I will not watch certain things around my wife or my kid. Like, they don't get into the gore and the horror stuff. And so I just don't. And so I got interrupted, but I had no problem, like, just turning that off and just doing whatever needed to get done. Like, that's not one where I was like, okay, let me finish this film. Like, I was probably halfway through it. So I'll go back to it. I wasn't hating it, but it's just, they don't really suck me in. But yeah, I bet you it looks fantastic for sure. Here we go. Of course she doesn't like it. Movies from the 80s and 90s are objectively better. It's not much of an argument. Yeah, no, that's the thing is, like, well, I can really see your point. But with her, she tends to just blanketly love a lot of things unless like it's really gross. Like if stuff is gross, if there's somebody puking on screen, she's like, I will never watch that again. Or there's like certain things just like gross her out. She's done. She's very vocal about it. But most things, even if she won't rewatch it, we have movies in her collection that we have because she's like, oh, I liked it. It was great. Blanketly. Like that's one she ended the film and was like, I thought it was dumb. And I was like, okay, that's that. So like, yeah, I really get that. I get your point. And I'm not even arguing that, but she has like a way of, she tends to like everything or says she likes everything. And then the only things that she's only vocal about are the things that gross her out. That's why, like, and she always finishes a film, even if it's a little scary and she's not like really into it because it's too scary for her. But Renfield, she stopped halfway through. She was like, she thought it was too gross, and it wasn't even just the blood factor of it because she watched Abigail, and that's just buckets of blood, and so there's that. But yeah, that Renfield, she just halfway through, she's like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. So yeah. Yeah, I do get your point, and they are objectively better. Yes. Let's see, if you liked Jack O'Connell, the main vampire in Sinners, you'll love him in 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, especially if you're an Iron Man fan. Well, Mark, I have to go back and watch Sinners. That's one I have yet to watch. It's become highly recommended. I've been intrigued. I just have never picked it up. And so it's on my list of things I need to watch. I have yet to watch it. There's a ton of hype around it, and it just felt off. Something about it felt off because a few people, like in my real life, that don't love movies were like, this is the greatest movie ever and you have to see it. And I'm like, well, if you're not a movie fan, you're not always talking about movies, but this is the movie that everyone's talking about. I got that weird buzz, and like certain movies, like it just seemed like they have this blanket buzz, whether it be from all the trailers and the hype and then people at work and people talking about it, and then they don't want to feel left out. And then those people that don't really get into movies are like, you got to see Sinners. That's where I'm like, I'll wait. So I hear good things about it. I have yet to watch it, but it is high on my list. I keep forgetting to buy it, actually, is what it is. Same thing with Sisu. Same thing. Sisu had the exact same thing. There was this blanket love for it, and it could be amazing. But I just pumped the brakes because it just always seems like that thing when those two people are like, you have to see this movie, and I'm just like, you don't tell me you have to see any other good movie, then you're just going off of what people at work are saying, and I just don't trust it. And so that's another one. So Sisu is another one that I have to see, and there's a sequel now. Yeah, here we go. Robert says, I love the Willies, but you can't get it anymore. It's out of print. It needs a what does it say? Yeah, so if I found a bunch of them on eBay, so there's that. So was it ever on Blu-ray? I'm asking, is that because like I have no problem picking up that DVD, and I found a bunch on eBay, so I have no problem getting a used one. But if there's a Blu-ray, I would rather get that and chase that as opposed to just adding an expensive DVD. But yeah, the Willies would be a nice re-release if that's the case, for sure. Let's see. Fun note about the MASH TV series. Filmed length of the episodes was generally 32 to 35 minutes. Broadcast trimmed down for commercials was usually 28 to 30 minutes. Oh, wow. Wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know, because most things trimmed down, it's like 26 to 28 minutes. So that's wild. Yeah, I didn't know that. Let's see. Are you getting the Rambo collection, 4K collection from Amazon? I believe I wanted to. I didn't. I missed out. It's sold out. I can't get one now. I was going to I went to go pre-order. It said sold out. So that is one. And we talked about it here. We talked about it. I was excited. I said I was going to order it. And then even here, somebody told me it was sold out. Like we were doing one of these lives talking about it. So that's one I will not overpay for it. I will not chase it on eBay or anything, because that's just going to come out at a crazy price. That's one I would love for another company to put it out, but also if it comes back around again, I would pick it up then. I would try to at least. But yeah, I missed out on that one. The one I'm really anticipated for this, and I'm not going to miss out on it no matter what, is the Fright Night release. So the Fright Night 2 that's coming out from Synapse, I am so stoked. I want all three, but I'll just take whatever I can get. Like that's the issue. Like if it's just down, those things start selling out and I can just get one, I'm just going to get one. But I do want all three. I think the artwork is absolutely fantastic. And that's one I will not miss. But Rambo, I'm a little disappointed that I missed out on it, but it's one that I'm not going to chase. Like that's going to hit eBay for expensive. It's gonna be crazy expensive on eBay, and I'm not going to chase it. But if it comes back around again, 100%, I need it. Well, that's the thing. I have most of the Rambo films in 4K. I'm only missing one of the Rambo films. And I think it's the newest one. I think maybe two. Maybe I'm missing two. I have to double check. I have all the Rambo films on 4K except for one I have on Blu-ray in my collection. And then I'm missing one. And I think it is the newest one. That's the issue. I think 100% it's the newest one. So I don't need it, but I would like it. That's more of the thing. I would like it because I'm just missing one and I need the other one in 4K anyway. Let's see. DM man, sorry to hear that. I got lucky enough to get the pre-order and I'm stoked. Well, I'm stoked for you too, brother. Like I really am. Like it's one of those things I was looking forward to. I loved the packaging on it. I loved the set. It would be the whole set. And it's just, we talked about it here. And as we were talking about it, I'm like, I'm going to get this one. Somebody was like, it's already sold out. And I was like, oh man, it was fast. I should have been faster on it, but yeah, that's okay. That's okay. That's the whole point about this. Like I always talk about, collecting the marathon. It's not a race. And you know, if I don't get it today, another company could put it out, or it's going to come around again at some point. And I didn't need it, but it was a want. It wasn't even, I actually need the Rambo film. I have Rambo, or not Rambo, I'm going to say Rambo, Rocky. The Rocky films. I have Rocky 1 on VHS. And I think Rocky 3, like that's it. That is all of the Rocky films I have in my collection. And I don't really have a reason why I don't have those films. I enjoy them. I've seen them all a bunch of times. A lot of them I did watch on cable a lot. I remember renting 4 when I was a kid, and I always thought 4 was great. I know people complained about 4, but I almost always feel like maybe the reason I don't have those is that it felt like they were always on cable back then. But in my collection, let me just see what I got. So all formats. Rocky. I have Rocky 1 and 3, and both of them are on VHS. That is all I have. I think I'm hoping that, you know, what they just did with that Rambo set, I'm hoping they do the same thing with the Rock. I would jump on that so fast. Like that's one I would love to have too, for sure. Let's see. And just James, I didn't realize it was going to go quickly. I honestly didn't think it would either. But there is this thing, and so there is collectors that love things. There are fans, and so you have that no matter what. But I think that this is, you know, it falls under the scalper problem. I feel that certain titles, certain names, no matter what gets put out, that stuff, you know, goes up for scalper prices. You have the buy 2, sell 1 guys, you know, in the collector that are just trying to get a free collection by just selling the second one. Then now you can't get one for that reason. But then it is the scalpers. Like there's going to be a ton of those on eBay. I bet you there's some now, and I'm not even disappointed by it anymore. I just really expect it, but I feel like I expected that one to sell out. That's the thing. I expected that one to sell out, but I also expected to be able to get one. And yeah, that was a thing for sure. And Help Us Heroes. Everyone click the like button. I appreciate that, brother. Yeah, that's something I don't usually do. I don't do the self-promotion as often, but yes, appreciate that. Click the like button, get this thing out here, and let's finish diving into this. I know there's some things on Twitter, and then I have to start my day. So then we'll wrap this up for sure. Let's see. Yeah, get this in here. There we go. Is that everything? Let's double check if that's everything there. Radiance stuff. Let's see. Radiance Films announces. So the Radiance August releases. So this was asked about earlier in the stream. Okay, this is one that I will get because I want. This has been released before and it sold out. So I will get this one. Why is it coming out again? So there's a few things here, but this is one that I want. This is one I'm gonna end up pre-ordering this for sure. Radiance Films. This has been out before. This is limited to 5,000 copies, and it's the Hotspot with what was it? Was it Don Johnson, Virginia Madsen, Jennifer Connelly, Charles Martin Smith, William Sadler, Jerry Harden? Like, it's a Dennis Hopper film. Yeah, this is something that I wanted, but I'm like 100% positive. Oh, because it's a 4K. So the other thing was probably just a Blu-ray, but it's the same package, the same cover, the same everything. That sold out, and it was fetching for a pretty good price on eBay. So I held off on it. I didn't chase it, but it's a film I don't have in the collection. So yeah, this is one I'm stoked for. I'm going to end up pre-ordering this one because I don't want to miss out on it again, because Radiance is another one that, not that obviously I forget about it, but I don't mean to forget about it. I think they're fantastic. I like some of the films, not all of them, but I think I have 3 Radiance films in the collection now. And so it is one of those things, like, it's not a blanket love because not every film they put out is really up my alley. It's not for me, but the ones that are, I think they're great. I think they're fantastic at what they do. So yeah, that's one I don't want to miss out on. But what do we have here? The Magnificent Cuckold. I don't necessarily know if that's a me film, but it's region A and B locked. And there's new interviews with this. It seems like an Italian film. Happily married businessman succumbs to the advances of one of his less square, more open-minded female friends. Okay. I mean, I don't know. I don't think that's a me movie, but I mean, it might be worth a watch. I just don't know if I need to own it. Then we have that. So the Hotspot on 4K, that's a huge thing for me. We're getting a new 4K restoration from the original camera negative, Dolby Vision, HDR, and then all the other stuff that seems like it was probably included on the original Blu-ray that just came out. And then World Noir Volume 5. And so I do like noir films. And so the fact that they're into Volume 5 and I've been missing out on that, I might have to go back and try to track some of those down. Now, noir films, they have an audience, and it really isn't for the masses. And so usually when I miss out on noir films, I can find some of them, not all of them. It really depends on the label, because there are certain labels that the scalpers just kind of hold in high regard. Like, I've seen Kino stuff where I think Kino is a fine label, but I've seen other labels that I think are a better label, maybe cooler packaging, other stuff, where I'm able to get that version cheaper, but the Kino version is like way more expensive. And so it just depends on the scalper and what they're selling it for. But it seems like a lot of the noir films throughout all of the labels, those seem to be the less expensive stuff on eBay when you miss out and you're able to find it on the secondary market or getting it used, because noir just isn't for everybody. But I do like them. And so, yeah, that's something I might have to dive into for sure. And you're getting a bunch of stuff there as well. You're getting 3 films, it looks like: The Bandit, Against the Law, and 4 Ways Out. And yeah, a lot of stuff there. So there's that. But yeah, this Hotspot, this is going to be a nice pickup for me for sure. We got that. And I know there's some stuff on Twitter that I was excited for. Oh, and this is a Hammer film. And this is probably, if I add this will be the first Hammer film that is like a non-Christopher Lee Hammer film in the collection. And so we have Hammer presents Murder in the Rue Morgue, a new 4K presentation. You have painted movie poster art. I like it. There's morgue stuff. But here was the interesting thing. It's like a gorilla arm next to this like prostitute looking lady on the floor. I'm interested. And it says, this flick is where a 13-year-old me took a girl on the first date. Oh, so somebody took a girl on a date to that movie. Instant buy, keep rolling out Hammer. Yes, people are excited about this. It might be a cult film. It's coming with 2 cuts of the film. I'm in. I like these Hammer box sets. I haven't picked up any of them yet, but I will. And this is something that it's intriguing. I've never heard of it before, and I love the artwork there. And I'm intrigued by the gorilla arm. I just want to know what the gorilla arm's all about. We got that, and let's see. Here it is. This is the one I was actually disappointed because I was going to rewatch this. I went to go pull it off the shelf to talk about it today, and it's Repo Men. I think the film is absolutely fantastic. You are getting a new 4K master. I don't know who did the master, but you are getting a new 4K master on the Blu-ray and the 4K. It's coming out in both versions, and with the 4K, you'll probably get Dolby Vision or HDR, but you are getting a Blu-ray, and everything else is the same. You're getting the 5.1 audio, the 2.0 audio, and one audio commentary track, two audio commentary tracks. The original one that's probably on the original Blu-ray, and then you're getting a new commentary track, which is great. And disc 3 is a Blu-ray unrated version with audio commentaries, deleted scenes, and all that extra stuff. So you can have your choice, get the Blu-ray, get the 4K, but this is a high recommend. It's science fiction, it's fantasy. I mean, I always say science fiction is fantasy because it really is to me, but it's not considered that way. So this is a science fiction film. So you have Jude Law, Forrest Whitaker, and it's a future movie. So they repossess organs. And so in the future, if your organs fail, you can, sign up to get one of these organs, but endlessly pay for it for the rest of your life. And once you miss a payment, these guys come back and repossess the organs, and you don't live anymore. And so they kill you, they take your organs, there's that. And then there's something that happens, and then one of them has to undergo that process where then he has to then get the organ, but then he's got to make these payments that he can't afford, and then he ends up becoming a runner. And I think this is a fantastic film for sure. But yeah, this is a high recommend, and I can't be more excited for this one. But yeah, we're getting both. I don't know if I need the Blu-ray or the 4K. I don't have any now. I think a new 4K master on a Blu-ray is going to give you the best of both worlds. There are so many people that don't love the 4K format, or they don't get into it. So I do think that that's going to be a nice upgrade over your original Blu-ray, but I will end up getting this 4K because I just want to see what it's all about, but I love the film for sure. We got that. Yeah, that's a high recommend. What else we got? Anything else that stands out to me? The Spy with a Cold Nose. What is this? This is another Kino Lorber title here. I love the artwork on it. So Kino Lorber is preparing a Blu-ray release of Daniel Petrie's Spy with a Cold Nose from 1966. Oh, 60 cinema, I'm in. Starring Lawrence Harvey, Dahlia Lavi, Lionel Jeffries, Eric Skies, and Eric Portman. Yeah, I'm in. What is this? A dog with a spying device under his skin. I'm sold. I don't need to know any more. I am in. There's a spying dog with a device. What is this, a comedy, or what is it? Yeah, comedy. I am so in, and I love this. This is going to be an easy pickup for me, easy blind buy. Love the poster on there. I would actually track down this movie poster and get it framed. That is fantastic. They don't do stuff like this anymore, and I do miss it. But yeah, that's an easy pickup for sure. All right, let me pop this out. Let me check out Twitter real quick. We'll wrap up the comments, and then I'll start my day. Let's see. So Twitter. Oh, that's not it. X. It's called X now. I'll call it Twitter till the day I die, I think. Oh, and speaking of that, so this popped up here. So I want to talk about this. So there has been this thing over the years, and it goes back to David Prowse. And so with playing Darth Vader and not removing his helmet, and then not having that recognition, and then kind of being bitter through that whole thing. And there's a whole story behind that. I'm not even here to dive into that. But because of that, there are so many modern actors that if they have to wear a mask or they have to cover up their face, they still want to be recognized. And a lot of times they're even using like super famous actors. So it's not even like they're, where they're just no names and they had to wear a mask that one time. And so it's frustrating as being a fan of this stuff, especially as they're adapting a lot more video games and comic books and these characters that, we've loved all these years. And then you have actors that are just ruining the mystique by just constantly taking off the mask or whatever else. But now we have this new one. So I'm excited. So I'm not trying to be negative about this, but I'm excited about the new Street Fighter movie. But we have Blanca, who is, I guess, played by Jason Momoa, and I just saw a picture of it, and he's got facial hair. They just dyed it red, and it doesn't look like that. And so things can change. That is very true. But to accommodate the actor to not accommodate the character is starting to become frustrating. And it goes back to the constant people removing their mask. And I only said that because I popped up Twitter and there was a Jason Momoa thing popping up. But yeah, that is something I'm not super into it. It's constantly, I mean, what's the point? Like, it was the same thing as you have these amazing voice actors. Like, that's what their job is. Their job is to be a voice actor. They change, there's inflection to their voice. They learn the craft, and they have many different voices. There are people that have crazy iconic voices like Gilbert Gottfried, crazy iconic voices that, they're just so unique that it just works no matter what you put them in, because Gilbert Gottfried did the Affleck commercials, but then he did Iago from Aladdin, and he didn't do anything special to his voice, but they're iconic. They're awesome. But then you have the new Super Mario movie. Super Mario is done by Chris Pratt. Like, he didn't change his voice. He didn't do anything. It's just Chris Pratt reading a story. And I hate that. It's the same thing. So they try to use the star power instead of giving you the story. And they could have done a million different things. They could have chose a million different voice actors that's actually what they do. But they hired star power, and they put a lot of their budget into the star power for that same thing. Now, I don't know any kid on the planet that was really driving to go see Super Mario Brothers because Chris Pratt did the voice. Or Jack Black did the voice. Like, it's just a thing. And now Jack Black, I thought he was pretty good, and he does have that range where he can do stuff with his voice that's different. So Jack Black, I think, gets a little bit more of a pass than Chris Pratt, who just goes in and just speaks. And he's not the only one. There's tons of them, and they're hiring star power for this, and kids are not going to the theaters for that. And so that's an interesting thing. And so it's the same thing with Jason Momoa not having to shave his facial hair. And he didn't always have it. There's plenty of films, like he did Conan, no facial hair. There's other films he did without the facial hair. And so it would be, unless he was contracted for something else he was working on at the exact same time where he couldn't, that's an understandable thing. But they accommodated him while putting him in green makeup. I don't know. I'm not a fan. And you can say, oh, well, maybe he was working on the Lobo project and he couldn't shave his beard. I get it. I get that. But if we're going to digitally make his face anyway, then we might as well not have the hair there at all digitally if we're going to utilize it. That's just my point. But anyway, I digress. I'm tired of ranting. But let's dive into what is coming out on Twitter. What was announced? What is rumored? Because there was something I sent TJ a few text messages, things I'm excited for. And stuff is confirmed. So this is the biggest one. So this is another one. The Blu-ray's out of print, and it's kind of expensive. So this is going to be a day one pickup for me. I have, do I have the DVD? Yeah, I have the DVD and I have the VHS. The Blu-ray is expensive. I did not want to spend that kind of money on it. But now that this 4K is coming out, the Blu-ray could go cheaper. Maybe I'll add it eventually because I love, why am I building it up and not showing you? Anyway, Near Dark. Near Dark is getting a 4K. I'm super excited, from Synapse Films. That's a day one purchase. And this is the first time I did not know this was coming out. So this is the first time I've seen it, and I am more than stoked. I love this film. I've talked about it before, but it's one that I didn't have in the collection until recently because somehow or other I missed out on the Blu-ray, and I just haven't had it. And then I found the DVD, and then I got the VHS. And so, yeah, solid, easy day one pickup for me from Synapse Films. And what is this? Near Dark, 1987, 40th anniversary. So it's coming out in 2027, but this is a day one pickup. And Catherine Bigelow did this one. And yeah, she's fantastic, I think. But 40th anniversary, 4K Dolby Vision world premiere restoration. Yeah, I am in. From the recently discovered 35 millimeter film. So I didn't know if that was it. That was the actual issue why we hadn't had one before. Negative, loaded with all new features and remastered CD soundtrack from Tangerine Dream. I am more than happy with this. This is probably my most anticipated release of 2027 so far. An instant purchase. Oh wait, remember that April Fool's Day press release from us? Well, we're only slightly kidding. Okay. Well, the fact that this is getting a release, I am so excited. I hope they do a fantastic job on that. So that's a huge one for me. What is this? Monty Python stuff? Yeah, it's Steelbook only. I'll be happy picking up any of the Monty Python stuff in DVD, Blu-ray. That's all fine. I'm not going to jump on the Steelbook for that. That's that. But Snapdragon from 88 Films, I love this film. I actually just picked it up on Blu-ray this year. It's a solid B movie with Pam Anderson. It is not for everybody. It has a cult following, and I'm in that cult. I love this film. The fact that it's getting this release from 88 Films, that is also an easy pickup. I actually love the cover. So the cover on the Blu-ray is just this. So it's Pam Anderson, and you have the tube back there. That's it. No dragon, but the title is Snapdragon. So I love this. This is an easy pickup I'm excited. So coming to Blu-ray, 615 from Last Slate Video, Snapdragon. Limited edition. Let's see. Documentaries, Pammy through the years. I need to take a drink. Hold on. Okay. Interviews, director, reversible sleeve featuring the original and newly commissioned artwork by Studio Gerard. 4 collectible art cards, reversible fold-out poster featuring the artwork and trailers. Yeah, that is a huge that's a huge pickup. That's something that is a guarantee that I need to have. I do love that film. But again, it's a B movie cult. It's not for everybody. Check out the trailer. It might be for you if you don't know about it. But I'm not saying it's a high recommend. I'm saying it's a movie that I have to own. What is this? This I think I've seen before. What is this? When the Bow Breaks, 1994. Maybe I've seen this one. Let's see, coming from 615 as well. When the Bow Breaks, Image Gallery interviews Ally Walker. I don't know. I feel I've seen this before. So you have The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, and I feel that this is in line with that type of movie. And I must have seen it on TV or something. I can't put my finger on it, but I'm fairly certain I've seen it, and maybe it was just on TV at some point. So that's something I'm interested in. I don't think I'd need it day one or anything, but I would like to check it out because I really feel that I've seen this before. And usually anything with Martin Sheen's fantastic anyway. So that's probably why I saw it in the first place. This is one I don't think I need. The Strangler. That's one. Yeah. I just don't think that's for me. I like some horror films, but I'm not the biggest horror hound. So it's not a guarantee for me on that one. Same thing with this one. I don't need these. Laid to Rest. I don't need that. Reanimator Academy. That might be worth picking up. What is this? This is Reanimator Academy from 1992, collector's edition Blu-ray for the first time ever on disc following its initial VHS release. So that's something that might be worth adding to the collection for sure. I don't mind the Reanimator series. I have never seen this one though. That's the thing. Never seen it. And I didn't realize it was stuck on VHS. So that's also a cool thing that it's getting a release. But there also might be a reason why it's stuck on VHS. It might not be for the masses. But what is this one? Cyclops 1987. Yeah, a lot of this stuff I don't think I need all of that obscure horror stuff, but Fatal Flying Guillotine. This is something I need. 1970s. Yeah, I'm in. Bonus materials. New 2K transfer from the original film elements, supervised and composited by film archivist Toby Russell. Commentary. Getting a whole ton of stuff here. I am in. It doesn't even tell me what the film is about, but I need this. And who's putting this out? Yeah, Fatal Flying Guillotine. That's an easy pickup. I don't even care what it's about. How about that? It's just fun Asian cinema. That I'm into that. That is really in my wheelhouse now. Coming from Lionsgate Limited, The Arrival. This is the one I text TJ about. So this is a movie. I have it on VHS. I've never upgraded along the way. But I would. I love the film. But every time I watch my VHS, like I'm good. I don't need to run out and buy that Blu-ray. And the fact that it's just not in stores and I got to order it online, I just kind of don't think about it. But this, for me, huge win. I love The Arrival. I think am I even sharing the screen? I've been talking. Okay, yeah, I am sharing the screen. I've been talking forever. I'm like, man, if I'm just talking to nobody. All right. So yeah, this is coming. It's a 1996 film. I said the 90s for me was peak a lot of things. Now there was a huge shift. So the 90s has its own feel. It doesn't feel like the horror films, the sci-fi, even the comedies don't feel like the 80s. It didn't, and it definitely doesn't feel like the 70s. A lot of people claim it was more cleaned up and just different, but the 90s was peak. I was a teenager then, and so I watched all this stuff and I was like really right in it. So yeah, The Arrival, that's a big pickup for me. I do love this film. And who's putting it out? What does it say? Oh, Lionsgate Limited. So Lionsgate Limited, potentially it could come out and other companies can get this one. If it is a steelbook only, it's one that I would wait. I love the film. I want it, but I would just hope another company picks it up if it is a steelbook only. If it's not a steelbook only, the Lionsgate Limited, that would be an easy day one for me for sure. Now here's one. I don't know if I need it, but I do need the movie poster. So I don't even know what this is, but it's like female RoboCop in Asian cinema. I'm in. Yeah, Lady Battle Cop 1990. Give me that. Give me the movie poster. Champion tennis player, I'm not even going to mess up her name, mortally wounded by a terrorist from a mysterious cartel organization, is revived as a cyborg battle cop. Yes, female Asian RoboCop. Give it to me. I want this movie. I want the movie poster. This. I don't even know if it's in my wheelhouse, but I just want to watch it. Yeah, she seeks revenge against her assailants and their superiors. Yes. Yep. That's an easy pickup. Now here's one. I do love it. It's yellow. It's a steelbook. That's why I don't love it. But you have Joan of Arc. I do have it in that Luc Besson box set there. So I do have Joan of Arc, but I don't need that. But I do think it's fantastic that we're getting a nice yellow steelbook. I think that's great. But yeah, Joan of Arc's coming out, and it's a UK version. So it's in August, I think. Yeah, August it looks like. And then this one, Will It Happen Again? What is this? This is just old stuff. Coming to Blu-ray in July from Ken Lorber. Will It Happen Again? From 1948. So I do like that. That's coming out. Independently produced in 1948 under aegis of a U.S. Navy club. Will It Happen Again is carefully calculated. Is this, what is this, like a military movie? Let's see. Will It Happen Again is a carefully calculated and beautifully executed takedown of the third. Oh, so yeah, it's military propaganda movie. Yeah, because aegis, like that's what I did in the Navy was aegis. So under the aegis of the U.S. Navy Club. Nice. Oh wow. Inform or Die. Yeah, so I've only ever seen bits and pieces of like the military propaganda movies, and especially like I watch a lot more of the Disney propaganda stuff for that. So yeah, this would be interesting. I don't know if I need it day one, but definitely on my radar, because I think it's an interesting piece of time capsule thing, obviously history. But yeah, it's something I didn't know I think I needed, but I think I do. And then this one, Elementary Cinema. What is this? Sherlock Holmes stuff? Elementary Cinema, the early films of Sherlock Holmes, 1912 to 1954. So my friend Eric got really into Sherlock Holmes not too long ago, and then was talking about it, and then I got into Sherlock Holmes, and so then we're just together getting Sherlock Holmes films, and I got some that he didn't get over in Australia, and so I put them in his box, and so now this is something that interesting. I know it's probably not up everybody's alley, and it's probably not for everybody at all, but for me, I'm in. You got old Sherlock Holmes stuff from 1912 to 1954. I am all in on that. So you're getting restored versions from 1918, probably easily some silent film stuff, probably original documentary, plus over 120 minutes of early Sherlock Holmes on film. Nice. Yeah. Coming out from Film Masters. That is a great company. I haven't picked up a ton of their stuff, but they do a lot of fantastic work on all of the restorations. I did a whole video on one of the reviews that they sent me. And the other copies that I picked up on my own accord is all of the monster stuff. So it's like 1950s monster films. They do a fantastic job with that. It's not the only thing that they put out, but I've definitely picked up a lot of the 1950s monster stuff. And so, yeah, that would be, I would think it'd be 100% worth it. And their restorations are fantastic. And the one I reviewed, inside the special features, they actually showed you how bad the film was degraded, and then the restoration. It is like there was parts of the film that was missing, and it looked flawless. So they do a fantastic job for sure. But again, probably not for everybody. I get it. We already talked about the cop and blue jeans. I think I need that. Sex and Zen. I don't know if I need that, but I mean, I might. It's Sex and Zen 2. I haven't seen the first one, but yeah, you see what you're getting there. I don't think I need it, but yeah. But this one I do. Shaolin Shawscope. So 88 films. I have. I love the Shaw Brothers films, so I'll watch anything they're in. 3 films here, or anything that they put out. I will pick it up. I don't necessarily think I'll remember to get the 88 films version of this, but these films here, I would be into for sure. Obviously, we talked about that. None of this other stuff here. We already talked about that one. My Only Friend is a Corpse. I've never seen that. What is this? MVD Group. Yeah, I'll pre-order that one. Oh, it's a newer film from 2025. I'll check that out. I'll check it out before I pre-order it. But this is one that I'm super stoked for. 88 films. And what is this? The Tournament from 1974. Street date August. Easy pickup for me. So yeah, I'm going to pre-order all the 88 film stuff, all the Asian stuff here. And Stoner. I'm into this as well. 1974. Street date August. Yeah, I'm going to pick up like the 88 films August line. I might pick up a bunch of that. This all looks great. Operation Scorpion, same thing. What is this? I don't know if I need this one. Exit 8. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I need that one, but that one I do. We've talked about that. We talked about that last week. But yeah, super into all that stuff. Ooh, and The Office is coming out. So The Office coming to Blu-ray in June. Nice. So yeah, complete series. This is one a lot of people talk about. It's been memed to death. I've seen maybe like 2 parts of an episode, like not even full episodes. And so it's just one of those things like somebody was watching it. I happened to catch part of it, and like that was it. I've never dove into this. I understand it's also there was like a British version of this TV show as well that came out before, and I think it comes highly recommended. It's talked about a lot, but I've never watched it, so I might pick this up and give it a whirl. But yeah, interesting. And it's coming with 25 hours of unaired footage, which could be cool if you're a super fan. Iron Maiden Burning Ambition. Yeah, that's not for me, but it is probably for somebody on 4K. Yeah, it's probably for somebody. For a lot of people, actually. Now, this one, I'm going to grab this. I'm going to go back. I'm going to get the Mortal Kombat 1, give that a rewatch because this looks absolutely fantastic. Everything I've seen from the trailers of this and all the people talking about it, I am so excited for this film. And it really does. It just reminds me of that time before everything had to have some kind of agenda, or somebody that was making a film was crapping on everything that came before. When this film came out and the critics complained, the director said, you know, he made it for fans. Like, I'm in. And the trailer just screams that it looks like a great video game adaptation. I am all in on this film. I don't think I'm all in on that, but I also think it's kind of cool. Like, but it also kind of, you know, just because I associate Mortal Kombat with the video game, like I feel like it's a video game steelbook, but I do like that artwork there. But I'm in. We talked about that and the Charlie Bronson stuff. Wait, no, this is something else. But here's one. Now I have the imprint version of this, and so that is coming out from Kino Lorber, coming to 4K UHD from Kino Lorber. Johnny Handsome, and I don't know. I think my Johnny Handsome is in Blu-ray. I don't think it's a 4K, but it is a fantastic film. It's noir cinema, modern noir from the 80s, but I think it's a great film. After being double-crossed and thrown into prison, a deformed gangster gets a new face and rehabilitation, but his desire for revenge looms. And it's gritty, it's dark, it's noir, it's violent. It's a great film. High recommend for me if you like those types of films. But yeah, Mickey Rourke, you can't go wrong with that one, I don't think. But yeah, and again, I got to double check because maybe I can check from here. What is my, let's see. Johnny. Let's see. Johnny Handsome. Yeah, it says My Johnny Handsome is in Blu-ray. But again, I thought that was great. So a 4K is going to be great. I don't remember if there was any restoration done on that Blu-ray. It's been a while since I've revisited it. But I thought it was great. I didn't have any problems with the Blu-ray. So I don't think I need to upgrade. But it is coming out, and it is a high recommend. Cyclops. What's this? Oh, the Iron Man. The Hamilton's coming out. Yeah, there's that. King Creole's coming out. Elvis Presley. Was this Kino Lorber putting out a nice 4K of King Creole? That'd be a nice pickup for sure. My kid's been getting into the Elvis stuff lately. We only have a few Elvis titles in the house, so that would be a nice pickup. And Katharine Hepburn, War and Peace. This is one of the Katharine Hepburn films, or Audrey Hepburn films that I don't have, and she is my all-time favorite actress. And so this is one I would easily pick it up. What is new restoration, 4K restoration from Paramount Pictures, Russian aristocracy, or you know what I'm trying to say. Aristocracy, perhaps prepares for a French invasion on the eve of 1812. Yeah, I'll check out War and Peace. That's an easy pickup. It's one of the few Audrey Hepburn films I don't own. So yeah, that's an easy pickup, especially from Paramount. I'll pick that up. What do we got? Night of the Seven Kingdoms, complete first season. I never checked that out. And Slither. We've talked about this before. I love Slither. It's just, and the 4K or the Steelbook here is kind of cool. It's just not for me. I think that's pretty. I think we're all caught up. Ken Russell's Devils. I never saw that. Last Circus looks like a horror film I don't need. Yeah, we're done with that. All right. All right. Let me get caught up with the chat. Let's see what do we got. And have a good Saturday, brother. Oh, you too, Mark. I don't know when you left, but enjoyed you being here. Let's see. Gary, good morning, brother. Murders in the Rue Morgue is based on the Edgar Allan Poe short story. There are several film versions. Nice. I'm very interested in that for sure. Let's see. And Help Us Heroes. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles box set is on sale for $46 on Amazon if anyone hasn't picked it up yet. Well, that is actually not a bad price at all. That is not a bad price at all. And that is one I didn't expect it to sell out, but I knew just in case it sold out. Like I ended up I got the Arrow Video exclusive and the Amazon exclusive version. I got two versions of that one. Just because I love turtles. But yeah, $46 is way cooler than the initial price on it. But yeah, if you haven't picked it up, that's a great pickup for sure for $46. Let's see. I was really wanting a double pack of the Ready or Not movies. I'm upset. It could come eventually. I'm not the biggest fan of double packs, but like if it was a nice box set, yes, I agree with you. But a lot of times, especially in the newer ones, they've been doing the split where it's like just the regular standard disc and then just right down the middle, half on one side, half on the other. And I'm like, not my favorite. But if it's two separate discs inside of a little box, yeah, I'm in. But yeah, Ready or Not, 1, I loved it. Ready or Not 2, it's good, and I enjoyed it enough to own it for sure. Let's see. I agree 100%, Gary. They should always use unknown for voices. I don't want to be thinking about the actor when I watch the animated films. 100%. Like, you have to ask yourself, like, why? Why is it those? Because like there's no kid on the planet, and I know we live in a social media time. Everything's connected, and kids know more stuff than they used to. Like my kid, like knows actors and directors and everything, but she watches a lot of commentary stuff. And but I was like, when I was 9, I didn't know a single actor its name and a single director. I would always be like, that was the guy from this, like, or I would know the character. And it wasn't until I was like a little bit older where I was like, oh, I started like diving into real, the aspects of movie loving and stuff. But it was really like, I know I never, like, the voice actors and the cartoons and the stuff that I grew up watching, like that stuff was great. And I never cared who did it. Now I do now, but yeah, there's no kid on the planet that's really going, yep, I got to go see that because Chris Pratt does the voice. Get out of here. Give us a good voice. Give us a unique character. And that was the whole point of these voice actors. Like they give us unique characters. Yeah, finally, Near Dark on 4K news, my favorite vampire movie. Yeah, it is definitely up there. I love that film. It probably isn't my all-time favorite, but it is in my top 5. Like it is up there. Like, because I think my all-time favorite, like I love Bram Stoker's Dracula, but if we're just talking just straight vampire films, and you got Bram Stoker's Dracula, then you have The Lost Boys, and then probably Near Dark. That's how I would honestly probably rank them. Like I love that. I love that. Easily in my top 5 for sure. Yeah. I'll put When Bow Breaks on Plex. Okay, I'll check it out. Yeah, thanks, brother. Thanks, brother. And I still got to watch those Korean films you told me I got to watch too. All right. And Snapdragon is already out if you order directly from Last Slate Video, not 88 Films. Oh, okay. All right. Thanks. I'll check that out. I will. Or I'll forget, like I always do. That'll be great. Arrival, the movie with the backwards knee aliens. Yes, the break. Yeah, that's the one. I love it. I love it. Joan of Arc, according to Ted Logan, isn't that Noah's wife? I don't know. It could be. Let's see. Have you ever checked out Unearthed Films or even Massacre Video? Yes. I've checked them out. I don't think I own any of them. Maybe I have one Unearthed Films. It's just I don't get into a lot of that stuff, and then I don't think to go back to the site and actually order stuff. So yeah, it is one of those things. If there's some like crazy specific title that I've been looking for and it just happens to be over there, then it would be an easy pickup. But I go to the websites, but I usually don't like even add anything into the cart. Like nothing jumps out at me where I need it. But I've been on both of their sites, so I've checked them out, just haven't like officially pulled the trigger on anything. I really enjoyed Exit 8. Okay, well then I will add that. I will definitely add that then, Gary. I appreciate that. And Dylan Movies. What's up, brother? What's up? Johnny Handsome is in the Walter Hill set, and yes, it's a Blu-ray. Yeah. Okay. I have the Walter Hill set. Or no, maybe I don't. I don't think it's I 100%. I have the Walter Hill set. Because I was thinking that the Johnny Handsome might have been in the After Dark Noir set. But no, it is in the Walter Hill set. It's a fantastic film for sure. But I think my Blu-ray is fine. I really do. It would all depend. And even if Imprint upgraded to 4K, it would, I don't know if I would like run out and grab it. But the one great thing that they have done is even stuff that's in their box set. So everything is numbered. And so whatever number that is for Johnny Handsome, if they released it separately on its own thing, its own box, it would still be that number, which I think is great because we didn't get that with Shout. So Shout Select, they released Bill and Ted, his Bogus Journey, and those Bill and Ted movies. And so they released one early on in the numbered selection, and then they released the other one like later on, and then they released both of them, I think, in a 4K 2-pack. Then it has its own number, and so yeah. I like what Imprint does. And so whatever number that movie's assigned, if they do a 4K, I'm not saying that they will, but if they do, they have always given it the old number. So I think that's great. I guess like a collector nitpick, I guess, for sure. All right, what do we got? Delana Movie says, I have to disagree on voice acting. For instance, I was very familiar with Will Arnett before seeing the Lego Movie or the Lego Batman. Well, that's an interesting one. So I said, Jack Black has a free pass, but I don't feel like Will Arnett just came in and spoke like Will Arnett. I think he added inflections in his voice and he gave us the difference in the Batman. I think it was fine. But like when I listen to Will Arnett otherwise, like I don't feel like I'm listening to Batman. But when I watched the Lego Batman movie with my kid, I did. So I can agree with you there. So I'm just saying, I think just the blanket, like this has star power, throw him in there. But I don't think Will Arnett has the same star power that Chris Pratt does. And so that's going back to my thing. Like they're just throwing stars at certain things. I feel like Will Arnett may have earned that role. That's another thing too. The Lego movie or the Lego Batman movie, but he was good in it, and it was never a distraction. No, I agree. I think he was good in that role, and I think that was fine. But it's just the other actors that are not changing their voice, they're not doing anything, because for the most part, you can tell Jack Black is doing the King Koopa in the Super Mario Brothers movie, but he adds some flair, some panache. He adds something to the film. It's not just him talking. And that is one thing about the voice actors, which is what I miss. And so a lot of them would create, not all of them, but a lot of them would create characters or give us this just a difference. And so it isn't one of those things. But again, they threw those names on that film, and it was that star power. That's what they were trying to get people to go to the theater for. And I'm like, those kids don't care. They just want to see Super Mario Brothers, you know? And that's the thing. So I can agree with you on the Will Arnett thing. There are examples. There are great, like I pointed out, Gilbert Gottfried has such a unique voice, and then he wasn't changing his voice from gig to gig, but all the gigs he did, he was fantastic in because his voice is unique. Let's see. And Jesse James, what is on your watch list for today, man? I talked about it earlier. So if you came late, it was all these films. And I just watched Unlawful Entry last night. But Kid and Play on DVD, just picked it up. The Warrior and the Sorceress with David Carradine, just picked that up. And Demon of Paradise, just picked that up. And Forbidden City. So these are the ones 100%. They're on my watch list today. Plus, I have some stuff. I have to finish watching 1408. I started watching it last night, and I couldn't keep my eyes open. So I went to bed, and I got to the point, and I'd never seen the film before. So this is a first watch for me. I'm super into it. Like it was sucking me in, but I just couldn't stay awake. So 1408 is the other one I'll be watching today. But I got to the point where he gets checked into the room finally. He's having the whole back and forth with Sam Jackson, where Sam Jackson doesn't want him to rent the room and he wants to rent the room, and he's trying to write about it and going back. And then he just gets into the room, and that's where I just turned it off, went to bed, and it was like 2 a.m. So it was already late for me. So yeah, that's the other one. So I'm going to finish that one, and then these ones. These are what I'm watching. And then, as always, feel free to post whatever you're watching right here on the community tab. So you just go to, I think you're going to get it through mobile and through the desktop. But there's, when you go to the post section for this page and it says community, you can click on that and you can write whatever you want. You can post whatever you want, and keep it movie related, obviously. But anything you're watching, you can just post it up, or you can just say what you picked up recently, and we do love that over here. Oh yeah, okay. I stepped away from that part. Hope you're enjoying them. I do too. Thank you, brother. All right. With that, remember to watch a movie today. And I'll catch you guys next time. Oh, tomorrow. Just don't forget, tomorrow, member only live stream, 8 p.m. my time. We're doing that. And I don't know what the topic is yet. I mean, I kind of do, but I haven't figured it out. But anyway, remember to watch a movie today. I'll catch you guys next time.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
Oh, don't give me a cat. That's mine.